he has some clout on his resume.
In Jacksonville.
Yeah, he could. Maybe so. But I don't know. I like the Buffalo Bills to win this too at 21-17. I hate to say it, as much as it pains me, but Rex Ryan actually has this team playing pretty well.
He sure does. They're playing for him too.
They're playing for him. I mean, that is something. There is something about Rex. I mean, his personality can weigh on you and whatever. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Buffalo 21, Cincinnati 17.
Jack, you and Rex Ryan both have that foot fetish thing in common. So, tell us what you think.
Hey, you know,
I got to think the Bills. Were the Bills on a bye last week?
Sure.
Is that
yes, they were.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, I know LaShawn McCoy got a week to rest. I agree with you. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati. Maybe they're getting older. Maybe they're getting a little long in the tooth there in Cincinnati. Maybe they had their opportunity to win maybe a handful of years ago.
Yeah.
They're struggling mightily this year. I will say, and I don't know if this really matters, but over the last 7 games that these two teams have played each other, the total has always gone over. I would see a little bit more scoring than maybe what you two might believe. I also think Andy Dalton is a little bit better at home than he is on the road. I think that's been a fact. Buffalo did look good against Seattle a few weeks ago prior to their bye. They are getting LaShawn McCoy back. I'm going to go.
Not to interrupt, but Andy Dalton will be just fine unless if the game starts anywhere less than 7 o'clock. If the game starts at 7 o'clock or later and it's on national TV, Andy Dalton, he won't be fine.
I thought he played pretty well Monday night.
All things considering, yeah. Normally, the knock on Andy Dalton is he does not. He does not show up under. He does not show up under the lights. Old Mr. Danny Bonaduce does not. But he's I think this game's at 1, so I think we'll be all right.
Right, and I think that the one thing that Andy Dalton has in his favor is the fact that A.J. Green is wearing the stripes, the Bengal stripes.
Yeah, I'd like to think I could hit A.J. Green down the field.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown in 6 of his last 7 home games. I expect him to score another one come Sunday. I'm going to go out there and say the Bengals redeem themselves 28-23, although it'll be a good game. This might be a really good game, actually.
Yeah,
I agree.
It could be. And I will tell you what, in 6 of those games that A.J. Green has scored a touchdown, he has actually had a catch.
That's interesting. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, very good point. You know what? I'm a research bug. That's what I do, buddy.
I'm about to call you fucking Voltaire, man. You are enlightenment. Voltaire.
I am. Well, I gave up a life of philosophy for football prognostications and bad comedy. Speaking of bad comedy, Baltimore Ravens travel to Big D, take on the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. This Baltimore team, to me, I don't know who they are, what they are. I know that they've got a nice run defense. I know they're very proud of that. You've heard it all week from the big-time pundits. They're railing on how good this Baltimore defense is. I heard Ray Lewis the other day. I heard Skip Bayless the other day, which, by the way, Skip Bayless' opinion on anything doesn't make a difference to me at all, especially the Dallas Cowboys because he's such a honk and a homer. But they all seem to feel that the Baltimore Ravens defense is going to be the first ones to stymie Zeke Elliott in that big front 5 of the Dallas Cowboys. I, on the other hand, do not think so. Baltimore 2-5 against the spread, 2-4 straight up in their last 6. Dallas Cowboys have won 5 straight, 5-0 against the spread. I wasn't convinced early on. Maybe within 6 weeks of the season, I wasn't totally convinced. Watching them against Pittsburgh last week, I'm convinced that's a great football team. Zeke is healthy. Dak does exactly what he needs to be doing. He makes really nice decisions. Play calling puts him in a position to make those good decisions. They're not asking him to do too much. He's a young guy. Pepper Jack and I were having a discussion earlier about experience and how important that is in so many facets of life, and it is. But Dak really, really looks like a crafty veteran out there. I don't see any feasible way that Dallas doesn't win this game, but I think that Dallas wins at 27-16. I probably should have coughed up your over-under and your odds on that, but it's 45 points is the over-under, and 7.5 point is a pretty high favorite for Dallas. But I look for a late touchdown to put this one away, 27-16.
I'm with you, man. I've been on the record all year saying I think the Baltimore Ravens are crazily overrated, and I'm not pulling back yet. I'm gonna stick with it. And I've just been really this. I'm not a Cowboys fan per se, but I can tell you what, they've actually been a really fun team to watch this year. This run that they're on, Dak is a rookie, but he plays like he's a 6-year vet right now. And Zeke Elliott Zeke's always been fun to watch. That kid is just so explosive. And those big goons up front just knocking the shit out of people every week. It's just all fun to watch what's going on in Big D right now. I don't think the train stops here. I like the Cowboys to win 31-20. The only thing, here's a funny note though. Statistically shown that the Cowboys play better on the road than they do in Jerry World. That's the only kind of food for thought I was thinking about. But sure. I can't imagine the trains this ride stopping here. I like Dallas all day.
Yeah, they're 8-1. They're a good road team. Quickly before you take off, I think that we learned a lesson here about how valuable life in the trenches can be in the NFL. You watched the Oakland Raiders on Sunday night, and that front five really forcefully impose their will on a Denver Broncos defense that's pretty damn good. Latavius Murray, who in my eyes is a C+, B-, maybe on a great day running back, he had his way with the Denver defense because of the work done up front. I think Dallas's offensive line is so good. Yeah, Baltimore's got a nice rush defense, but I see the trenches, that battle being won up front by the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Look for Zeke to still have a nice day. He's a nice fantasy play. He's a little bit high in your DraftKings and FanDuel. He's a high dollar chalk play, but I just don't see them. They're averaging 70-some yards against running backs this year. I do see Zeke getting to that 100-yard point.
I look at a guy like as far as the DraftKings, a guy like Cole Beasley or someone like that might be a nice pickup to have, because I think Baltimore's going to invest everything into trying to stop Dallas's run game, and I think it's going to open up some passing for Dak and the crew.
They're going to pound up front. You'll see that. So as many times as I hear 8 men in the box, and I want to pull my hair out most of the time when I hear it, you'll probably see a lot of that. You'll probably see just a lot of fits and a lot of try to stuff Zeke and make them beat you in the air. But Dak can beat you, and you've got guys who can beat you over the top in Dallas. So Pepper Jack, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Whew.
Okay.
You guys
How's
done?
It going?
Whew.
How's it going?
Hey, I just want to know what all those, and I hate to bring this up every week, but what are all those Todd Gurley owners doing right now that passed on Zeke Elliott?
Oh.
Are they like 2-8 maybe in fantasy football and scratching their ball sack, wondering what the hell they were thinking?
Yeah, they are tugging their monkeys because that was a horrible first-round pick.
Whew.
And if those good folks were listening to the Line Sports Talk podcast when they should have been preseason before that draft, I screamed it from the rooftops, don't take this kid.
Well, the first rule of fantasy football is never, ever, ever take a first-round pick from a horrible team.
You know what the second rule of fantasy football is?
What?
Don't ever play with a guy who has the same first name as a city.
Man, I knew that.
Personal rule, yeah.
I knew that.
I won't play cards with a guy named Dallas. It's just not happening.
No way. Or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, Tuscaloosa.
I do know somebody named Cleveland, though.
I'm sorry. I've been drinking all morning.
Well, you know what they say about that, right?
I know what that's like.
What do they say about that, Tom?
I'll never awake long enough to hear them.
You know, if you don't start drinking in the morning, you can't drink all day.
That's correct.
All right. Back to the picks. Let's go. Dallas
Wisdom
Cowboys.
for the day, the Line Sports Podcast.
Right. 8 straight games they've won. They look unbeatable. I didn't get to catch a whole lot of that Pittsburgh-Dallas game as the Pepper Jack had to travel to Columbus, Ohio last Sunday. I do see a Ravens run defense that is very, very strong. I do see Zeke Elliott busting one, though, because he, as of right now, is probably one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the NFL. I think
he's got to tweeze those eyebrows eventually, though. That's a little much.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like who's
Peter
the guy
Gallagher?
that does all the movies?
Yeah, Peter Gallagher.
Martin Scorsese.
Oh, that guy too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
a
man with some thick brows.
Computer has this game not even close. Dallas 33-13 over the Ravens. I think one thing about Dallas that I don't know if you guys noticed last week, I'm sure you did, Dez Bryant showed up finally, and I don't think he showed up all year. They're 8-1 with Dez Bryant, really a no-show until last week. I see him having a little bit of a game this weekend. I can't believe, Joey, I'm with you. I don't know how the Ravens are in first place. They're just doing it with smoke and mirrors, it seems. It's
been inconsistency from the rest of the division and absolute catastrophe from the Browns at the bottom of the division. The Steelers, Bengals, kind of just inconsistent.
Yeah, and no running game as far as I can see in Baltimore. I think Kenneth Dixon's starting to move a little bit past Terrence West. For all you fantasy owners out there, I'm going Cowboys. I don't think until they have a bad performance, I think you can't go against them. They got
you got to keep riding the train.
You got to ride that train. I just don't see it close. I see Dallas coming up with about a 30-13 victory here, going under but covering the spread.
I wouldn't mind that. For some reason, I just never have. I'm not even a Cleveland fan or anything, but I've just never, for some reason, or just never could stand the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I
just don't know why. I don't like that team at all.
No, and I'm fascinated by what's happening there in Dallas. Just how valuable the whole system is. Last year, Romo drops out, bad injury, no depth at quarterback, you fall apart. And now this year, you add two great football players, and all of a sudden, this is a team that could potentially win it all.
And I think you got to give kudos to Jerry Jones and his staff over the over the last handful of years that built that offensive line. And I think that's one of the models that I know the Raiders have jumped on, where they value the importance of the interior line before they start putting their weaponry together. I think hopefully the Cleveland Browns are going to see that that's the model that's been working and build an offensive line. And Cody Kessler's not a bad quarterback.
No, he's not.
Here's the argument. I don't know if we talked about this last week or not, but if you stick Dak Prescott behind that Browns offensive line, I don't know if the Browns are 1-9 or 0-10.
No, Dak looks very good, but he was very, very blessed to be in the situation he was in. I'll ask maybe a guy like Cody Kessler, who couldn't have walked into a worse situation. But
flip it.
What would Cody
Kessler be doing in Dallas?
Probably not. Probably pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe not 8-1, but with the ability to turn around and hand the ball to Zeke and watch. I mean, these are holes that semi-trucks can drive through. That hole that he opened up, that line opened up for him to win that game in Pittsburgh the other day. Now, by NFL standards, that it was a highway.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke did a nice job of slipping right through it. It wasn't huge, but by NFL standards, it's a great hole. That offensive line is very good, and it makes all the difference. But look at the
one of the best I've seen.
Look at the better teams, Dallas, the Raiders. The Chiefs do a really nice job up front. Keep an eye there. Spencer Ware's had a nice season. They blocked it out.
I got to say, though, as far as the Browns, things are looking up. I did happen to notice that D. Podesta is doing his homework for next year, and he's got some really good outfield prospects. So
they're going to spend their money on the bullpen. But, hey, we got to move it forward here. But speaking of teams with good offensive lines, that segues right into the next game. Miami Dolphins stayed out in California. They were out there to beat up on the San Diego Chargers last week. They stuck around in L.A., had a good time, but hopefully still focused on some football. They're going to take on the Los Angeles Rams in the Coliseum this week. This Miami Dolphins team has surprised the absolute hell out of me. I didn't think they were that good. 4-1 straight up. Two words?
Adam Gase.
Yeah.
Adam Gase.
Somebody's for real. Somebody's for real. Another 2 words, bong rips. Laramie Tunsil has done a very nice job in that line. Maybe helps solidify a little bit. I know he's been banged up as well, but that offensive line is blocking well, especially watch them run block. Watch them run block. Jay Ajayi runs aggressively. Miami's 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. They've gone over 4 out of their last 5 games. This is a team that all of a sudden figured out how to score points. You've taken pressure off a guy like Ryan Tannehill, who's proved to be pretty average at best. Got some good wide receivers in Jarvis Landry, and is it Devonta Parker?
Devonta.
Yeah.
Devontae.
Good wide receivers. Jay turned out to be a decent running back. You block for him, he can hit it. The Rams stink. 1-3-1 against the spread. 1-4 straight up in their last 5. Jeff Fisher striving for mediocrity once again. Scary. I like Miami to.
He'll get you, old Jeff. The mustache will get you 8-8. Nothing more, but he'll get you 8-8.
At best,
yeah, but he's got a secret weapon this weekend. Jared Goff.
Yeah. That does add some fuel to the fire, though, too. Such the island of the unknown. You got to think like, wow. I mean, if Jared Goff was anything, though, I mean, how could possibly Case Keenum start over the number 1 overall pick in the entire draft? What are they hiding about this kid? I can't wait. This actually adds some excitement to this game because I'm really, really intrigued by seeing what were they hiding all along? Why did it take so long for this kid to start?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I watched him in the preseason. Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I got to see for myself. I got to see what there had to be something telling me why